Popping up any second now. It says we're live now. Did you get the notification?
I've not yet. There it is. Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah.
I'll go ahead and copy that out and share it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share that a little bit. Oh, I see it. There we go. Copy that link. My Facebook, and throw that out there too. We've been having some pretty good turnouts in these live streams, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah.
But you know, if there's not a good turnout, I blame you. You know, mostly.
Oh, it'd be my fault. Yeah.
Let's see here. Come hang out. Got 5 people in here right now. Share. Let me go look at the chat. Sorry, I don't know who's saying what in here right now. Let me let me check the chat. We're here with Homelee665 Adventure Force masks.
Yeah, it's the Adventure Force, well, or Dart Zone, whatever mask.
Yeah, I think those look cooler than the rival ones, man.
Yeah, and I like how they've got the color plate. You can pop out and change it.
Kind of they kind of copied that with the new one that you could switch colors now on there.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they're going to start making it where you can switch the shells on the blasters. Nah, that'll probably cost too much. So we got Tisha Key in the chat. Thank you for showing up, Tisha. I love you. She's my girlfriend. I think I've said that a million times by now. Nerfer99. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. We got Making Tracks. What's up, my dude? Hey, Coke Duck's in here. Butts.
Hey.
Thank you very much. I concur. Nerf ZSM. Thanks for stopping in again, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. My internet's been kind of silly lately. I was at full bars, and then once we were about to start, it just kind of started chopping up a bit. I don't know. It should be okay now. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why it's messing with me. I literally have like only one device that has the internet.
There we go.
Hopefully it's getting better, guys. All right. Yeah. Damn. Stupid internet, man. I swear. I tried to do it on my. I tried to pull out my old laptop, but it was just so old I couldn't even get Hangouts on there, man.
Yeah. Well, that's when I started this up a while ago. Like, I had to check and make sure everything was running. I'd got into Firefox and I'd went through it and made sure everything was going. And then when you sent me the link, I clicked on it and said, Firefox doesn't do Hangouts. You just did.
Yeah. I was trying to use Firefox too, man. So, okay, I think it's coming in all right. Hopefully it'll stay this way. Finally made it to 20 subs. That's really good, man. Yeah, mine is like crazy bad. It's really bugging me. I don't know what the heck is up. I really apologize, guys. Let me see if I could. I tried to open up all my, I don't know. I tried to open up my doors and everything. Hopefully to get better reception of the router, because I'm like in another room from where the router is.
Yeah.
Everything's all set up in here. So it's kind of difficult to move around. Damn, man, that's really. Sorry, guys. This is bugging me out. Yeah, so let's begin then with speaking to Homely. We have Homelee665 here. He has a YouTube channel dedicated to Nerf blasters, modding, the hobby, basically. This from the mind if I, do you want me to call you Homely, or did you want me to call you by your name, anything?
Whatever's good with you, I'm fine with.
I didn't know if you want me to put your real name out there. I didn't. If you want to stick with the Homely, that's cool.
That's fine for right now. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this: How long have you been in the?
I got to thinking about that when you were doing the video the other night, and I don't remember the exact year, but when I was in elementary school, my parents got me the old original Nerf bow and arrow, the BNA bow, and I had that, and I played with it quite a bit and things. Nobody else really had any Nerf stuff, but I had that and used that for a bit. Then I got a little older, got kind of out of the hobby, and looking back, there were some really good years there that I kind of missed. Some really cool stuff, the Max Force line, the Cybertech, and of course, I missed out on the crossbow, the Holy Grail there. But I came back into the hobby about 2007 or so, around the time I started teaching, when I graduated from college, and then got kind of into it with some of my students, and we had a few little small Nerf wars and things like that locally. Nothing major, but where I'm at now, I'm kind of separated from quite a bit of things. So, as far as I know, it's just me and my set of tools. So, but I've been off and on since the early 90s.
Oh, wow. Wow, man, you've been at this for a while. So is that about when would you say you started really collecting now? Like if you are a collector, when
I started collecting was probably around 2008. I started getting some blasters around 2007. Some of the second run Mavericks and the Recons and things like that with the N-Strike blasters, a few of the Dark Tag things, and then I got sort of into modifying them and things, and that there was a couple of years there I kind of slacked off from the hobby, probably 2010 to about 2013 or so. I was kind of intermittent with things, just kind of collecting a few things here and there. And then, 2010 to 2012, I started getting a little more into things. And then the last couple of years, I've gotten, more into it as things go along. But
we got a question from the chat. Now, if you guys in the chat have any questions for him or me, if you have any questions at all, please go ahead. Feel free to ask. We're both free
that up.
Whoa! Well, this is a face here, folks.
Greetings, everybody.
That is Homely turning into his second identity, his secret identity. I mean. Right on. So one of the questions was, when did you start your channel, or when did you get into YouTube?
Well, my original delve into YouTube happened when I was in college, and I took some classes that were sort of dealing with, technology and using technology in the classroom and things like that. And one of the things that I had to do as a final project was create a video and, post it out. And of course, that was before YouTube was a big social media hub. It was mostly just people sharing files with each other, kind of thing. And I made a video kind of dealing with things education wise and stuff like that, and shared that out then. So that would have been 2005, 2006 ish. But as far as my Nerf channel goes, I started that. I started participating a little over a year ago with people. Like I would watch Nerf videos, Coop and Drac and things like that. But I started participating a little more in the community and commenting and things like that a little more than a year ago, probably about a year and a half ago. And sort of started building connections with people and those kinds of things. And really, I just got started making videos for myself this past year, probably about January or February or so was when I started kind of videoing for the idea of, videoing myself doing mods, talking about different products that were in the community and those kinds of things.
Cool. I'm trying to pull up your link so I put it in the chat. I didn't have. I didn't. I didn't put it in the description right away. Unfortunately, I was trying to get busy trying to get my internet suck pretty bad right now. So I'm trying to get your link in.
Yeah.
Copy the link and go back. Sorry, Alice, I'm going to throw the link in there right now.
I'm going to apologize, Alice. That's my upload schedule is only a little bit better than Bobo's. So I've not been getting videos out a whole lot. I've got some that I started shooting back in July that I've not even got around to finishing up and posting yet. Mostly because of time and not having the right kind of weather to get out and finish shooting them.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some sort of upload schedule. I'm trying to do mine like once a week at least, and then do streams. I used to do streams maybe twice a month, but I'm trying to do more of those. It's just I enjoy the streams. I like talking to people from the community. It's a lot of fun and I have a lot of subscribers that have nothing to do with our community. They have nothing to do with the hobby, but interesting, and hopefully I can get involved in this and doing and maybe help our community grow a bit.
Yeah.
So how big is your current arsenal?
I have no actual count on what I've got. I've just sort of been collecting sporadically off and on and buying thrifts and things like that as I get the opportunity to and kind of when the mood strikes me and things like that. So I have no idea what I've actually got numbers wise. But I've got several blasters. I've actually got a couple here with me tonight. One of my prize pieces that I bought this new when it came out. It's a complete whiteout long strike. This has been one of the jewels of my collection. I really liked the long strike when it came out, and when they came out with the whiteout line, I went, man, that's sexier than socks on a chicken. So I've got to get one of those. So that's I had to grab one up, and I regret that I didn't get any of the rest of the whiteout line, but the long strike is probably the most sought out of them, and probably one of the more valuable ones, and I really like it, and it's sort of a piece that I've really enjoyed having over time. So
yeah, that's an awesome blaster, man. That's sexier than socks on a chicken. I gotta remember that one, man. we got some new folks in the chat. I want to say hi to Catherine 0852, Animal Fiasco, thank you. Slotto Man, thank you very much for showing up. Levi, thanks for stopping in. Christopher, thanks. Mr. Sonic, thank you for showing up. Boomtendo, Boomfriendo, Deshaun on the track, Noah, all you guys, BBT, thank you for showing up. I'm sorry if my internet is bad, if my voice is distorting. I do apologize. It's kind of a bummer. My internet was really good, and then it just went bad. It's been off and on. I don't know what it is. I keep looking at the wrong camera too.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. It's hello to Catherine and Coat Duck and Boomtendo and Mr. Sonic and everybody. That's I missed several on there. I see the question from Nerfer99. What was the first blaster I modded? And that's I've got another one here out of my collection to kind of talk about. The first blaster I modded successfully was a Recon, and that's I used. I got some of the old Orange ModWorks kits and dropped in and did spring improvements and seal improvements and relubed and all of that stuff. And that was one that I was kind of proud of myself. That's the first school that I taught at after I got that thing modded. It was during the winter, so it wasn't really a good time to take it outside and test it out. So I waited till nobody was at school, and I went into the gymnasium and shot it. And standing at the baseline underneath one basketball goal, I shot and hit the wall at the other end of the gym. And I was like, okay, that'll do. But the first blaster I really tried to mod was a Maverick. I did the old penny mod and things like that. But I got a bit of a wild hair, and I decided I was going to paint it. And that was before, there was all those good tutorials out there on painting blasters and how to do all of that. So what I did is I also have my first unsuccessful mod in this Maverick that I painted up, and I painted it to the point that it was basically more or less unusable. Cause I was trying not to paint functional parts, but I still got some on the trigger and some places like that, and I painted the cylinder, trying to make it look all fancy and everything, and which it's a really neat looking silver, but it with different things it didn't exactly work right. And then I even painted the slide and painted where it said Nerf on it and the whole deal. I took time and did all that, but I didn't do it right. So basically rendered it non-functional. So, that was a lesson learned early on with what I was doing. So, but that's, that the first one I modded successfully, I'll say, was a Recon. My first real lesson in modding was from the Maverick.
Right on, man. Right on. Let's see. All right. So we just went over what was your first mod. Now, what is your favorite mod that you've done?
Favorite one that I've done. That Recon was one that I really liked because it was my first successful one. It really meant quite a bit to me. Probably one of the ones that I've gotten the most, I guess, joy out of would probably be a Boomco M6 that I've got that I modded. Dropped K26 in and took the locks out and all that stuff. I really like playing with that one.
Yeah.
And as far as my favorite mod that I've not done, but that I own, something that I won from FoamCon, another piece out of my collection, is the Orange Freak Stampede.
Oh, yeah, I saw you post something about that, man. That is
Yeah,
tough.
and I've got another video about this in the works, but this was a Sonic Green Stampede that was dyed by the gentleman over at Foam Freaks, and they dyed it orange, and they've got, it's a Terran 3D front end on it, that's got a in-strike attachment nozzle on there, and got some Picatinny rail on the top, sides, and bottom, and got a nice little rail piece here for a red dot sight, and then Valor printed up this back end, and it's got a magnetic butt plate on it for you to reach in, put your lipos in there, and it'll run 2S or 3S. I like the look of it with a banana mag. It likes to feed better from 12 rounders, but it looks really nice with the banana on there.
Yeah, that's true. Like the one I just did, I just, you know, I don't know if you saw me posting about the rapid red. I keep wanting to call it a fearless fire. You know?
Yeah.
The rapid red, man.
The drum pad
looks so cool with the freaking you know, with the banana mag in it. I don't really use them, but I mean, it just looks awesome with it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one to use. I'll probably take it to Ragna.
Yeah.
So okay. Now, if that was those are some of your favorites. What do you think is your least favorite mod, or one that you just messed up on and it's like, you know, I finished it, but I don't really care for it?
Well, one that has sort of been a continuing source of frustration for me has been a rapid red that I started working on. It was my first flywheel mod. I picked up a bunch of rapid reds when they were on clearance at my local Kmart, and I think I've got like 6 or 8 of them, or 10 or something. I don't know. I've got a whole sack full of rapid reds, and the last few that I bought, I got for like $5 a piece. So, you know, I was filling up a cart in Kmart with rapid reds. You know, they're just pink stripes. Let's go. So I figured, well, I've got rapid reds to burn, so I'll start on one of those, and I got a cage and got some Michelle 2.0s and an OFP Morpheus cage and some of Out of Dart's Instatanto wheels and things like that, and was kind of putting it together, and it has bested me at just about every corner. There's been different things, like I had some of my soldering come apart on it, and like the original 2S LiPo that I got, like I'd measured the battery box on it and everything, and I got one that I thought would fit, and when I got everything together, it wouldn't, like, it would fit in the spot, but it wouldn't go through the hole that I left. So I had to find a smaller 2S LiPo, and then when I got everything together and finally got it running, it was eating darts and throwing foam all over the place. And when I'd put it over the chronograph, I'd get one that was 130, and then I'd get one that was, 40. It was wildly inconsistent, and I'm hoping to be able. I've got a break coming up next week, and I'm hoping to put some time in and kind of redo it, because I went with a 42 millimeter cage and with the Michelles, and I think I need to go with a 43. So with the 42 cage, I'm going to end up putting some Fang revamps in there and kind of starting over on that. So
yeah, I learned with the 42 cage, if you're using Michelle motors, which I use on a few builds, if you're using I like the 42 millimeter size, but you have to use stock, basically stock sized flywheels, and those, or else they eat foam pretty badly.
Yeah.
This one here, I used barricade wheels, stock barricade wheels, and I wanted to try those because they're kind of serrated.
Yeah.
And so far, it seems to be working pretty good. I haven't chronographed it yet, but I'm going to be doing that soon. Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, a lot of people got these Rapid Reds like super cheap. My church, we have like 5 of them over there.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, the Mongoose Jake, said he went and got like a bunch of them, and from one of these sales. He just grabbed like a bunch of them for him and his wife and his daughters. They all have like 2 apiece, I think. They were just getting rid of them cheap. Okay, so what's your favorite brand right now?
Of the ones that are going right now, I'm really kind of favoring Dart Zone.
Yeah, buddy, me too, man.
Cause they're really impressing me. Busby has come a long way in the past 10 or 15 years. That's Busby used to be like 3rd strand kind of stuff, real cheap plastic and all that. But they're really coming along with the quality of their plastic, the quality of their blasters. The only thing that I see wrong with Busby at this point is the size of their grips. They've not really stepped up with that. But Dart Zone has been knocking it out of the park left and right for the past 2 years or so, and fairly good quality plastic, good size grips, and excellent performance. That's just this afternoon I was looking at some of the blasters in the Adventure Force line at Walmart that includes Busby and Zuru and Dart Zone, and the 80 and 100 foot range claims on those blasters. That's, to me, that's doing as good or better than what Nerf is on a lot of things. So I really think they're reaching out there and they're creating a market for themselves on things. That's my one wish in a way is that Walmart would sell them as Dart Zone and Busby and Zuru, and I know the Adventure Force line is helping get them in the stores and get them some recognition. But it's been I've seen some posts about people, the Adventure Force, the titanium, I think it was. Now they've got the Dart Zone version of it, and people are going, well, they're just ripping off what Adventure Force was doing. No, that it's the same brand, it's just sold under a Walmart name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Adventure for what they're doing. I understand getting the brands their recognition as well, but I do like the fact that some stores don't carry Zuru, but you'll be like Walmart. I never seen Zuru there, but I see the Dart Zone. I mean, I see the Adventure Force Zuru stuff there. So I think that's pretty good.
It's getting them in the stores. Now the Walmarts that are close to me don't carry the Zuru stuff, but there's one in a town about 50 miles from me. They've got some of the smaller, like the Zuru, the Fury 4, I think it is, and like the 3-shot one. But then for the 6-shot, they don't have it in the Zuru brand. They've got it, the Destroyer, which is the Adventure Force version. So they've got kind of a mix of things.
Right on. Welcome everybody that's just coming in. Man, we were like so close to having 20 here. We had 19. We're almost at 20. 18 people here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Shady Bad, Yale, Cool Face, Cool Septic Fan, Sneha, Yadel. I'm messing up these names. I know I'm butchering them. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. The contest, the giveaway is over. It ended October 1st, 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. So all the emails that came in after that time are not in the end. They're not. And I'm not going to accept them because it wouldn't be fair to everybody else who people have been putting in their entries since the video dropped. It wouldn't be fair to the people that went right away and put their entries in to let people who entered after the fact get into it. So yeah, it didn't end October 1st, and soon I'm going to be posting a video of us deciding the winner. I'll email the winner first after it's decided, but then I'll show the video of the winner being decided so you can guys see that it happened fair and it was totally random. Okay, so yeah, that's how that's going to happen. Welcome back, Boom Friendo. We're still here with Mr. Homelee without a mask and not from the neck down.
Nerf 99. We were just talking about that. I kind of favor the Dart Zone line right now as my favorite line of blasters. Although you're talking about my Nerf line, my favorite Nerf line. I see that.
Yeah.
Ooh. I really like the Dart Tag. They had nice smooth lines. Had some pretty interesting blasters. I like the Speed Load 6 and the Quick 16. I don't care if they jam. They're just really neat blasters.
Yeah, Quick 16 is cool. We have one of them over there. It's so awesome, man.
And then, the Swarm Fire, the Speed Swarm, excuse me, some really, really neat blasters. But as far as recent lines, just in the past few years, I really like the Rebel stuff. I like it for the same reason that I liked the Dart Zone. Good, smooth lines, nice looking blasters. The grips tend to be a little bit smaller, but that's yeah, that's for a large gentleman as myself. I have sort of small hands, and really and truly, like the Rapid Red fits me quite well. The Fearless Fire is a little cramped, just because the way the stock is shaped. But basically everything else works for me. And I really like the Mega line. I'm a fan of Mega.
Yeah, I love me some Rebel, man. I am a huge fan of Rebel, but it's actually not my absolute favorite personally. My favorite is the Zombie Strike line. I like the Zombie Strike line. I even like the corny, faux tape that's around the handles. And all the stupid little aesthetics like like a screwdriver to pump or something like that, or saw blades. So impractical, but I think it looks cool.
Well, I really like the concept of the Zombie Strike and the Doomland stuff. I just kind of wait. I kind of wish that their usage was a little more practical on things. Hey, Clowney.
Yeah. Mr. Clooney, what's up, bro?
There's a movie that I like that's got Jeff Daniels in it, and it's one that not a whole lot of people know of. It's called Escanaba and the Moonlight. It's about deer hunting in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And one thing that they say in that movie is anything free is worth saving up for. So that's free is my favorite price, Clowney.
I agree with you, man. It's at least it's something I can afford.
Yeah.
So thanks.
The Freak Stampede is one that I got in a raffle at End War. And I was pretty well floored with it. Like, I'd entered a raffle for one of the Foxfire MBS blasters, which are pretty cool. And I entered a few different raffles here and there. But when I won that freak stampede, I was pretty well floored. That was an awesome win.
Yeah, I would be too, because I don't have very good luck, you know. So I would be just whoa.
Well, mine's very sporadic.
That's really cool. Okay, so we have Nerf for 99 asking you, what's your favorite size of mag?
I really like 12s. When I ran at End War this summer, I ran an Artemis with a Cyclone Shock backup, but my wife ran a Mediator, and she ran 12s. I kind of like 15s too, but they're a little more rare, a little harder to find on things. But a 12 gives you a fairly decent capacity without getting so big that it's bulky and gets in the way. If I know I'm going to be kind of in a short round or something like that, I'll run a 25 drum. That way I'm not really having to stop and swap mags or anything like that. If you pull your shots and whatnot, a 25 will get you through a pretty quick engagement.
I'm a huge fan of 12s myself. That's another thing that's cool about Rebel, the 12 mags, you know, instead of a little 6 mag. That was really cool. But 12s, the springs stay really springy still. They don't really stick. At least if you get a quality brand one. I've gotten some of the cheapies, and I've had mostly good luck with the cheapies, but there's a few of them that'll stick right from the jump. Not after use. It's just right from the get-go. They started sticking a bit. But yeah, I love the 12s and the 18s. Bigger than that is just a little bit too cumbersome, I think.
18s are fine, but when you get to carrying very many of them, they get real bulky.
I agree. Yeah, I've only done. I've only been to events where you have a dart limit that's either like 60 or 90. So I don't usually carry too many on me. I never had the need to carry like a whole lot. So, but if I didn't have a dart limit, I don't know what I'd go with. I've never been in that situation yet.
Yeah. I'm going to real quick. I got a message on Discord from Mr. Sonic a while ago, and he had mentioned it in the chat, but this is, I guess, sort of breaking news here. It was updated 5 hours ago. Of course, this is coming from the Globe, so this might, it's affecting U.S. Toys R Us. It says Toys R Us cancels bankruptcy auction, plans to revive brand. So it's quite possible Toys R Us isn't dead yet, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here, like probably third or something, but
you heard it here third.
But I'd like to give Mr. Sonic a shout out for that. He just messaged me that just a few moments ago. So
yeah, man, I saw what he was. I saw what he was looking. I saw him saying something about that, but I was kind of going over my notes too, so I missed it. But that is really great news, man. Yeah, Code Duck said Jangular is going to be so pissed.
Well, he can quote us on that. There we go.
What's your favorite type of dart?
I really kind of like a good AccuFake. I don't have a whole lot of brass or tight Springer blasters. So, most of my Springers I can still fire AccuFakes through. They're good for flywheels. One that I have really liked, though, that I got, I was waiting on them to come out with their AccuFake, and I ended up buying some of their waffle tips is Raytheon. Raytheon has a really good quality waffle tip. It's still not exactly good for like a blaster with a tight chamber on it. Something that's brassed or whatever, breached. But they're good about firing just about through anything. Raytheon does a very good quality dart. You can buy them through Amazon, get them prime shipping, and they're relatively inexpensive. I mean, you can get some of the AccuFakes and stuff like that a bit cheaper, but I've had some good luck with the Raytheons.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I have not used them to my knowledge. I know when I go to the Sang events here or the BTA, Jingler's BTA thing, and there's a few use that I don't know what the brands are because they get dropped, they get all over the field and picking up and they dart bin afterwards. So not to my knowledge have I used them. Yeah, I do like the Accu falsies myself. Those are really nice in my OG Strife with the dart guy. They work really. But my other modded flywheels, the waffles they seem to work really well too. Especially right now, I'm really loving the Adventure Force.
Yes, I picked up one of the 200 packs of those. Those I've not done a lot with those yet, but I like those.
Oh, they're great. They're super accurate, and they're really cheap. And I used them in one of my BTA tournaments. I believe it was the one I have footage of online. I was getting some really decent tags, so it was it was pretty nice. Yeah, I really like these right now. Heads are a little wide, but
yeah.
They're nice, man.
It's the only thing I've got right now that's really breached is I was one of the poor dumb suckers that bought a CETA. I really kind of like it. It's got some issues, but I don't think it's as terrible as what some people say. But it's got the Omni breach in it, so that's the one thing I have that I have to kind of watch what ammunition I put in there. Because to me, Omni means it eats everything. So I ought to be able to put whatever darts I want to in there and that sucker fire them. But, it don't like the AccuFakes and it don't like my Raytheon waffles. So.
Yeah, I heard about the CETA. It wasn't so much that they were bad, but I think they were, from what I was saying, it was the price wasn't matching the quality of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never used one. I've never actually even seen one up close. No one's really. Yeah. I know people have around here, just they haven't brought them out. Maybe that's a sign they're not.
Yeah. Well, as Alice said in the chat, she said she still don't have her CETA. So there's still people out there that are waiting on getting them. I pre-ordered mine. It was around the time Jangular mentioned it last year on his news show. So I got in pretty early. So maybe that's why I got mine already. I don't know. That's one of those videos that I started shooting in July that I've not finished up yet. I did some unboxing with it and things like that. And it's either been too hot, too rainy, or I've been too busy to finish that one up. But it's a pretty nice little blaster. The one thing that I've done on it that I think really improved how it does is I took the stock off of it that comes with it, and I put the stock off of my AR on it, and it works, and it's comfortable, and it's a good buffer tube stock. So
we have a question from the chat. Nerfer99 asked, what's your favorite integration that you've done?
That's I've not really done any integrations. Unless you count taking one of those like crossfire pistols from the dart tag line and putting it on the rail of another blaster. I've not really done any integrations yet. I've not gotten adventurous with doing body work and those kinds of things. I've got a mega tri brake that I'm going to try to start my adventures in body work on. Kind of follow what Blee from crud, I can't remember his channel off the top of my head. I thought about him just the other day. Nerf Gun Attachments, NGA. He's one that's not ever really shown his face, but Blee did he took the front end off of the tri brake and kind of affixed it to where like it didn't open up like it's supposed to, but you could push the darts into the barrels directly. And then he put the spring out of his Chronos into it and was getting some pretty good performance out of it. So I'm probably going to try something like that for some of my first body work and see what I can do from there. I've seen some really awesome integrations, but I've just not worked up the intestinal fortitude to get into that just yet. Let's see a Nerfer 99.
We had a couple questions. What's that? Oh, yeah, you.
Yeah.
We had a couple questions. One of them was, let's go with Catherine's first. Catherine asked it first. She asked, who are some of your favorite Nerfers?
Well, I really like you and the work that you've been doing, and kind of I like the angle that you're approaching the hobby from. Sort of.
Are you saying me or Catherine?
You, Broke Nerfing. The approach that you've taken to the hobby, kind of, in a way finding a method of getting into the hobby and participating in things like that without coming in and spending a ton of money. I like that concept.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
That's
I've appreciated your video.
When I first got into the hobby, I watched Coop and Drac and those guys. Of course, that was some of their earlier stuff, and that got me kind of into the hobby. But as I wanted to go a little further into the hobby and try to figure out more things and kind of figure out what suited me, I stumbled across Wallcom, and that's I've really kind of connected with him and the community that he has and his Discord chat and things like that. So he's one that I communicate with a fair amount and kind of hang around his stuff, and then through him found Beret and Captain Xavier, and I think he was maybe the first one that mentioned Out of Darts. And then he was the one that got me interested in Boomco. Like, I missed the short-lived Boomco phase, and I got kind of into that, and in finding more out about Boomco, I found Boomtendo, and I like what he does, and I appreciate that he's trying to keep the brand alive. A lot of times it seems like he's the only one that's really pushing Boomco, but that they had a good idea. They just kind of, I guess, mistimed some things, and the market didn't play out for them. I know they're still putting some stuff out there. They just released the new MA5. They've got a new M6 coming out. So, I know they're not completely dead, but, it's sort of like they're on life support. But
Yeah, I I come in late. You know, I just came into the hobby this year, just in February.
yeah,
So and I can't find Boomco anywhere. Like I can't find it in stores, and I live in an area that has such a humongous community that anything good that goes into the thrift stores is already picked through by the time I even get there. You know, I think these guys have insiders that are putting things to the side already for
yeah,
them. It's so hard. You know, I can find things like on some of the sites like OfferUp. That's a really good one. I find some good things on there here and there, but yeah, it's difficult to find
hmm
Boomco items. But I do. I really like them. I'm really interested in it.
yeah.
Brings me to actually that. Let's segue into another topic here. Uh, Let me see. What is the best item that you've thrifted?
uh, this summer, uh, the I guess kind of the thing that surprised me the most, and something that sort of had some value to it, was one of the Boomco Ghostbuster blasters that they did last year. I think it was. They released it, and it was almost like it was only on the market for a month or something, and it just completely disappeared. And anywhere you would see it, they were wanting, 50, 60, $80 for it. And I was like, it's nice, it looks good, but there's no way I'm going to pay that much for it. And I was in a Goodwill this summer, and as I started towards the toy aisle, I saw it right at the very end of the toy aisle, next to the end of the shelf, and I sort of ran for it. I was like, I'm getting that,
Uh,
and it was like, I think it was $2 maybe. Uh, so I was real tickled to get that. I feel like that was a good thrift. Um, then it not exactly a thrift, but there's sort of a line of discount stores that's, I don't know if they're just kind of in the southeast or what, but they're called Bargain Hunt. The one near me actually used to be called Essex, and then they changed the name to Bargain Hunt. But they get a lot of like stuff that, as it's coming out of stock in the stores, or sometimes items that have been returned and things like that. I picked up a Rival Chaos for like $30 or $35 there, with the magazine, and I think it had just about all the rival rounds with it. So I was tickled to get that for that price, because at the time, they were still $70 in store. So
that would have tickled the hell out of me, man.
well, I ended up, that was last year. I got my first one, and then back this spring I found another one for about the same price, and I was like, I don't really need one, but I can't pass that up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. uh, where are some of the best places to find blasters around? Where do you think, anyways, in your area or online?
Uh, well, uh, as far as online goes, for me, Shop Goodwill has been about the only place I've had much success. Uh, but it comes and goes. It seems like it gets a rush of people from time to time, and then and like the auctions on there go for higher than what I think they're worth. Uh, but the problem I've had with it a lot of times is you kind of have to balance what you bid with what the shipping is, because most of the time the shipping through Shop Goodwill is $20 or $30, because when you're shipping Nerf blasters, it's a relatively large package, and that costs a bit to do. Uh, but uh, I've the honey hole for me has been a Goodwill that's about 100 miles from me.
Wow.
Yeah, my closest actual Goodwill is probably about 50 miles from me. Uh, and I've had some pretty good finds there. Nothing significant, but some nice stuff. Uh, but the place that I've had the most luck is about 100 miles from me. So that's I I try to hit that up in uh, middle Tennessee. Tennessee's section to east, middle, and west. And in Middle Tennessee, the Goodwill's the first Saturday of the month. They have 50% off everything in store. So I try to make that trip the first Saturday of the month. Uh, that makes it a little more worth it to travel that far.
Yeah. Right on, man. So how big is your local community? Your local Nerf blaster modding community. How big is that?
Well, it's as far as I know, it's just me. So I mean, it's still pretty big, but uh, but that's as far as I know. There's not really anybody else around locally that that nerfs or anything like that. I'm about halfway between Knoxville and Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm sure there's some stuff going on there. I've heard of some Nerf arenas in Nashville, or a couple of airsoft arenas that have a Nerf night a couple of times a month or something like that. But that's like an hour and a half, 2 hour trip for me to go to those things. So I'm not real sure if it'd be worth my time. Uh, I'm about 4 hours north of the SENC. So uh, I've been meaning to go down there, but it's one of those things they meet once a month. So trying to schedule things to where I can get down there and war with them some. It is something I've just not pulled off yet, but I'm hoping that I can kind of get connected with them and sort of uh, start an offshoot in my area that kind of goes with that, because I have the potential to pull from both the Knoxville and Nashville sort of urban type areas, the cities a little bit. I'm kind of a midpoint for them. So, if I could drum up a little bit of connections and get some things going, I think that I'm in a pretty good spot to start a community here.
Yeah, absolutely. And meetup.com is, we our group here, we put up our events on there, and we're always getting new people new people into them that aren't really from the community, but they just kind of found us on Meetup and just thought it looked cool. So that it's meetup.com is a really good place to put your groups up on. And because we run a Nerf night through our Nerf group, and it's monthly. And actually, NF Strike found us and asked us to, if we wanted them to sponsor us, and they sent us like thousands of darts too. So I'm always telling people, meetup.com, if you want to start up your own group, that's a great place to to advertise it.
Yeah. But I'd had an
to
intention of trying to start a group this summer, but it didn't pan out for me having enough time personally to kind of do it. So I'm hoping, to maybe between fall, winter, and early spring, make connections with the SNC and maybe get down there a couple of times and kind of see how they do their events, and then kind of use that to maybe next spring when it starts warming up around here again to start building something here.
Nice. Um, me see. I'm trying to look through my notes, and people already asked the questions that I was already going to put up that I was going to ask you. What's your thoughts on the whole community as a whole at the moment? You know, what do you think things are going?
I love the community and where we're at right now. We do have a little bit of decisiveness, I guess, in some groups. You know, there's a few people out there that are a little bit polarizing. Some people like, I'll use Coop for an example. You know, he don't really have a whole lot of connections with the rest of the Nerf community. So some people kind of criticize him for that, but he does, as far as reviews go, he's very particular in how he does them. He's relatively fair about it. You know, he has a preference for flywheel blasters, but you know, he gives springers a chance and he breaks it down evenly. But he's one of those individuals that people either love him or hate him, kind of a thing. So we've got some of those splits in the community, but for the most part, we're a good tight knit community. You know, most everybody gets along. Most people support each other and things like that. You know, there's not a whole lot of backbiting and things like that go on. Not a whole lot of nitpickiness that goes. You know, you get that anytime. You know, we're a community that's thousands strong and we stretch across the world. But, you know, considering the number of people that we've got and, you know, we don't have any hugely negative things really going on, I think we're in a pretty good place. I mean, it's not perfect, but, you know, I think we're a good community and most of us support each other. And that's sort of the angle that I'm trying to take with my channel is to kind of look at the community as a whole and make connections and those kinds of things.
Yeah, this you know, I'm new to the community, very new. So, but you know, the community is, you know, the local community and the online community have been so welcoming to me. It was just unreal, you know, how cool they've been. You know, the groups on Facebook, you know, Discord groups, just everyone's been really nice. You know, like I gave, you know, I don't know many of the bigger channels, you know, like the over 100K people or close to 100K, but you know, a lot of the smaller ones that are up and coming are really cool people. You know, like Tiger Foam, he's, you know, ever since I started, he's been commenting on my videos, talking with me, messaged a few times. You know, yeah. Dangular has been really great to me ever since I actually met him before I even knew who he was. You know, I didn't know he, you know, had such a big name in the, you know, in the community. I met him, but he's been awesome, been helpful, giving me tips with my channel, supportive. Everybody's been just super supportive. You know, it's been so awesome. Yeah,
that's one person that I would really like to shout out about being in the community and being supportive and stuff like that is Bray. That's that man is a tiny little angel. He really connects. Like, he's a Patreon supporter for a lot of different Nerfers, and he does stuff to connect with other people, and he tries to do things to better the community as much as possible. And I mean, he's really got a positive attitude about about the community as a whole. He's got a ton of excellent war footage, like going back to when he was in college and stuff. Like, he has kind of caught on in the last year or two, and his channel's really kind of built from there. but go back and watch some of his old videos. Like, his sense of humor has been the same the whole time. And the quality of his videos, the stuff he does now is better quality, but for the time that he took some of those earlier videos, they're pretty good quality. He's a great guy, and is really a credit to the community as a whole.
Yeah, he's a super nice dude. I actually got a chance to meet him. He was down here for one of the BTA tournaments a few months back, and yeah, I got to talk to him there. I didn't even know he was going to be there, and but he was there. I think he played a few matches too, just as a fill. And yeah, he's super cool dude. Really nice.
He's known for playing with goofy blasters and doing different stuff. The reason he plays with terrible blasters is to give other people a chance. Like, if you see any of the footage of him, like, playing seriously and playing with a real good blaster, he's scary. He's fast. He's a small target, and he's good. That's when he did the video showing that he got an FDL3. My comment was, "It's over." That's nobody else stands.
I did see that comment, man. I didn't even get it, but I was like, I figured, this man, like, it's over. He's got one now, but now I know. Any of your what are some of the negative aspects of the community right now?
Well, one thing that I've noticed about stuff that's been going on, and it was mentioned in Walcom's Discord earlier today, actually, is people don't necessarily understand the value of a decent mod. Is kind of one thing that's going on, because there's so many drop-in kits and things like that make modding as a whole a lot easier, and it makes the hobby easier to get into. But the downside is that people don't understand the people that are making really good mods out there, the amount of time and money and energy and stuff that goes into it. That's my man Valor that did some of the work on the Freak Stampede, and I've bought a couple of modded blasters from him in time. He's trying to sell a blaster that he modified to send to End War as kind of a display piece, and it was at Devil Z's table at FoamCon. It's a really nice blaster. He called the Hornet. It's a Strife with a battery stock on it. It's got the Devil Z Masada front end on it. It's an excellent looking blaster. I mean, it's a slick piece. And he's needing to sell it to pay some bills right now. And he, like, the best offer he's got was basically like it would cover the cost of the cage. It's got a Dr. Snickus cage in it. And the best offer he's got, like, basically covered the cost of the cage. And, that's one of those things. I wish I had the money to buy it right now, but I've got a trip coming up in a couple of weeks that I'm trying to kind of hold back for. And, I can't afford to buy it, but it's a beautiful blaster.
Oh, I mean, I know if he did it, yeah, it's gonna be really dope. I've really been looking more and more into his mods. Actually, I didn't know who he was until probably like a month and a half ago or so. About a month ago, I'm still finding all these people just getting on Instagram. So yeah, I'm getting to see a lot more of these mods. Than that I never would have saw. Unless I scoured through YouTube or something like that. But yeah, he does some great things, blows my mind.
But that's, people that are just getting into the hobby or sort of casually pursuing the hobby, they don't understand what goes into some of those things. And that's one of the problems that I'm seeing. And another one, and it's one that I'm hoping does not cause our community a problem as a whole, but you've got your entertainment value channels out there. Gun versus gun is one that gets brought up a lot. That's and I'll probably take a hit on these next two, but PDK Films and Aaron Esser, those guys have excellent video quality, but where they're pursuing entertainment content and things like that, they're kind of pushing an edge of the community that I'm afraid might bring us some negative attention. That's with PDK and Aaron Esser, the connection there is sort of, making it look like gunfights using Nerf blasters. But the ones that kind of worry me are like your gun versus gun, and I can't remember. There's another channel out there, but they're the kind of people that put like razor blades and tacks and stuff in darts, and that's that's not good. That's not going to take the community in a positive direction at all. And I'm kind of worried, because some of those channels have quite a bit of popularity, that it's going to cost other parts of the community support and viewership and things like that. And then when a kid gets hurt, they're going to blame it on Nerf. They're going to blame it on Hasbro or Dart Zone or somebody like that. And I'm kind of worried as to what the repercussions in the long term will be on that.
Yeah, I never even thought of it that way, but you're right. They could, they could they could crack down on, making on modifying blasters, things like that, not being able to sell certain, maybe not being able to sell certain, from if people keep doing, like making, I've seen someone make a taser out of a big shot, yeah, there could be a lot of negative repercussions from that stuff. Yeah, you're right on that. Okay, let me ask you this: where do you see this community going in the future?
I see some pretty big things as we're going. You've got Coat Duck, who's a heck of a designer on things. She's been designing stuff left and right. She's got the Vorpal mags out. She's done cages. She's done a lot of stuff. Big Zen Z that does the cast parts out of New Zealand. He is selling her motor covers right now, resin cast motor covers that she's designed. You've got Out of Darts, who he didn't invent the Hurricane, but he perfected it, and he started selling that as a kit. Then now he's got the Jupiter, and he's got proton packs that go with that, and the Juno is coming out pretty soon. That's basically going to be a rifle version of the Jupiter. You've got people that are doing 3D design stuff, and people that are doing, you've got Big Zen Z and Hawkeye 007 doing cast parts that are really excellent quality stuff. Worker, who doesn't necessarily have 100% positive connection with the community, because it seems like they've done some stuff lately to rip off people in the community, but they have provided us with a Retaliator and a Strife that, it looks like they will be producing in perpetuity. That's the Retaliator and the Strife aren't going to go away now. We're going to have those for a while, because of what Worker has done with the Prophecy and the Swordfish. So, you know, those retaliator kits, those strife kits are going to stay a viable part of the community. We've got cages coming out left and right. You can get them 3D printed. You can get them cast. You can get them injection molded. You can get them, you know, machined. You know, tons of stuff going on. There's been a slight explosion of homemade blasters. You've got the Caliburn, you've got the FDL, you've got the Foxfire, you know, technically the Jupiter, you know, and I saw somebody today had released a 3D printed homemade blaster that was a bullpup style. I didn't have a chance to look into it anymore, but you know, we've got people out there. The community is producing their own blasters now. You know, and you don't have just, you know, your second party stuff producing blasters like, you know, your Buzzbee, your Dart Zone, your Zuru. You've got companies that have started up for the sole purpose of the community. You know, say what you will about Jet, but, you know, they're producing products for the community. Workers producing products for the community. Excuse me. You know, Lytake started out offering discount Nerf products, but, you know, they soon expanded. Now there's NF Strike and WorkerKit.com that are basically the same company, but specifically offering Nerf products. The community is growing. We've got a positive direction ahead of us. You know, just, you know, we kind of need to keep some of the infighting down, but,
Yeah.
and people are getting creative. My God, they're getting creative. Some of the blasters that I've seen in the last year or so have been just absolutely awesome. And, you know, people getting really creative with how they look and things. And, you know, last night I saw something in Walk-On's Discord. Somebody had cut up one of the old Super Soaker shot blasts. They cut the top off of it, and they were putting it on a thermal hunter and put some new lines on a thermal hunter. That looked really good. But then, you know, and that was a relatively simple, I guess, integration in a way, more or less putting a shroud on a blaster. And then there was a guy that was in my group at End War when I went on Mission 1. I'm sure you saw some of the pictures that were circulating around. He had 3 swarm fires mounted on each shoulder, and they were activated off of a bite trigger. And that's what I really liked. What he put them in as a base to kind of keep them in place behind them was an Arizona tea jug that he'd painted that was attached to the back of each one. I mean, that was some really inventive stuff, and to rig it up on a bite trigger, that was awesome. I mean, the community is growing and doing good, and we're reaching out to maker spaces, and, you know, people are having mod parties, and, you know, like your group is having Nerf wars in a church, you know, and that's reaching out to beyond just the Nerf community, but that's reaching out to the community around where you live. And I see some positive growth for us. You know, we need to keep moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I think so. I think so too. I think it's going in a really positive direction. I think I think that the leagues are really good. People are trying to start up leagues. Good friend of mine, Slater, he's starting up a quick flag league out in New Zealand. But yeah, the you know, there's a lot of leagues like you know, what is it, National Blaster League now that they're you know, it made I you know, it's like, to me, I see it as like WWE for, you know, Nerf, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining, and it's giving people an idea that it can be competitive too. It's not, you know, not just something you're gonna play around in your backyard or in the house with. It could, you know, it could be competitive on some level. So people can, you know, if that gets people to see that, you know, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the other day, Drac posted a link, where people could apply to be part of the National Blaster League. I mean, I had kind of figured it would be sort of a sensational kind of thing, along the lines of some of the more entertainment value channels. But then when I watched their second match ever, and it was a match with Drac in it, and he called in support from, was that Twin Toys? And the two little boys had the Nerf Terra Scouts and ran them in there, and like Drac tied the flag to one of the Terra Scouts, and they ran it back to home base, and that won the match. Yeah, this is professional wrestling with, dart blasters.
Yeah, it was those. I think it was that Twin Toys kids or something that was on there. I never really. I've seen their channel come up, but I never really watched their stuff before that. But
no,
yeah, that was kind of funny. Hey, Slater's in the chat too. I was just talking about your starting league out in New Zealand just a second ago, and you popped up. That's crazy. So, do you think do you see the hobby going mainstream anytime soon?
I don't know that we're at that point yet. We kind of had a point in the 90s where things started to be a little more popular, and you saw some things coming into pop culture that were kind of Nerf related and stuff. And then with N-Strike, you saw a little bit more of that. I don't know that we're exactly going to go mainstream, but I do see us picking up some popularity. HVZ has been a huge boost to the community, reaching out to people. My one fear with that is with all of the school related violence and things like that. I kind of feel that some schools that have hosted HVZ in the past are going to start shying away.
Yeah, that's I have a college that's right by me here, and they don't even do the HVZ on the campus, which is pretty crazy. I thought it was like on every campus, but hoping like that soon. But I just want, I don't know, it's like, I know we have these guys in our community that are like really, really popular amongst us. Got a lot of subscribers and everything on their channels, but it's still like relatively small channels in the way of like game, like millions of people, and on their main guys. So it's like still our more known people are still pretty small on it. Overall.
I don't know those channels like Aaron Esser and PDK and Twin Toys and all that stuff. I don't really follow those guys that much, so I don't know, what their subscriber counts are and stuff like that. But our biggest guy in the immediate community that most people give any sort of recognition to is Coop, and he just hit 1 million. And his channel has been going since mid 2000s. He's been at it for a while, and he just hit 1 million. Meanwhile, you've got, pardon me being an old man here, but you've got a bunch of kids that just started playing Fortnite, within the last year that have a gajillion followers, and so our community is still relatively small compared to what's out there on the internet. Catherine mentioned the Overwatch blasters. Do I think that they might help with things becoming mainstream? We've got Overwatch and we've got the Fortnite blasters and things like that. Uh, I think they will bring some attention to the hobby. I think they will bring some people into, well, for the lack of a better term, the NIC, the Nerf Internet community. I think they will bring some people into that. My fear is they might bring their toxicity with them. That's I teach high school. That's what I do for a living. I'm around teenagers every day, and I I love what I do, but there is a toxicity that is present now that it was there when I was a kid, but it has been given a anonymous face on the internet. Kids can reach out to each other without any kind of repercussions and things like that. So their interactions in real life have become more toxic. I don't see kids making the connections with each other now that they did when I was a kid. And they don't see the consequences of not having good relationships with people. So, I'm afraid that some of that will come with them into the community. And I'm hoping what will happen is our community, since it is a good place, it is a safe place, will kind of neutralize that and kind of bring them out of it. But I'm worried about the initial influx of people, because I used to love to play games online and stuff like that. Of course, I grew up. If you played a video game with somebody, you had to be sitting on the same couch as them. It didn't work any other way. But now, with online gaming and stuff like that, I got into that. I played, the Halo games online. I played, some of the early Call of Duty stuff online and things like that. But now, for the most part, if I buy a game, which I don't get as much time to game now, but if I buy a game that has an online component, I basically never touch that, because online gaming has become so toxic. It's become a contest as to who can cuss the most and say the worst thing about somebody else's mother, and I don't go in for that. So the Fortnite and the Overwatch blasters worry me initially. I'm hoping it's a positive thing for us, but it's one of those things. Hope for the best and expect the worst, and I kind of hope things will do well.
Yeah.
I hope it'll bring us some growth.
You bring up a great point on that. Beret, welcome to the stream, Beret.
Beret, my man.
I apologize if the quality goes bad here and there. I don't know what's up with my internet. It's really, really upsetting me right now.
Seems like it's been doing better the last few minutes. So
yeah, we're having such a good conversation. Homely's bringing up a lot of great points. Definitely, I could see where you're coming from in that aspect. I think the thing that'll take a lot of the ammunition away from them is the fact that it is, they're coming out to, like, if they come to events and everything, they like to hide behind the screens.
Yeah.
They like to hide behind the headsets. So actually being in the community being in a community with people I think it'll take some of their ammunition away.
Yeah.
But no matter what, every community, every fandom that's out there, you're going to have people that are going to try and, they're going to have the people that are poison. They're going to have their negativity and they're going to spread it to others. Hey, this guy, everyone likes this guy. He really sucks. Why? Let's go dislike his channel and, things like that. You're going to have those people everywhere you go, unfortunately. But our community as a whole, I think there's way more good apples than there are bad. Ever since I've been in it, anyways. I've only been here since February, but everyone's been awesome to me, been very welcoming to me. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, great. I've been reaching out and networking with a lot of people, and you know, like yourself, you're a really positive and pretty respected person in the community. You know, you're very open and very nice, commenting back to me. You know, supporting my channel and everything. It's been really great. But yeah, I think there's way more people in this community that are positive than there
Mm-hmm.
are negative right now, and
Well,
hopefully
that
have
was.
a louder voice.
I hope you have the experience at Ragnaroktoberfest that I was able to have at FoamCon. Uh, FoamCon was almost a NIC family reunion. I mean, everybody that was there, I had never seen before in my life outside of, through the magic of YouTube. And Clowny, Beret, Jangular, MTB Alex, uh, the girls from Foam Blast, Alice, J Nerf, Bobololo, everybody was so open and welcoming, and a few of them was like, "Oh yeah, Homelee, I've seen you comment," and stuff like that. That's I'm literally pretty much a nobody. I've got maybe a dozen videos on my channel. Uh, I've been sporadic about updating things and stuff like that, but just through where I've commented and interacted with people, that some of them knew who I was. The Inglesteads that run Thunderdome, Minnesota, they came up to me. They talked to me and my wife. They gave us each a Thunderdome, Minnesota patch. Uh, that those are some great people. The Inglesteads are awesome. Uh, that's it. FoamCon was just an absolute blessing for me to get to meet all those people.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of the people in the community. Like Beret, I met you at the BTA. I don't know if you remember me, but you might remember this nose. But yeah, we talked over. We talked while we were there. Foam Blast, they come out there all the time. They're really good, really good people. They always bring Gatorades and water, for everybody. Super cool. Yeah, I really like this community. There's going to be a meet and greet at Ragnarok Oktoberfest in a few days or in a few weeks, pretty soon. So I
Yeah.
get to meet some of the folks that I've talked to or watched, and I've never actually got to speak to in person. So that'll be really cool. So yeah, that's Hey, yep. Ah, it was the nose, right? You remember the nose. But yeah, I appreciate you coming by my channel. I think we've been on here for about an hour and a half. If does anyone else have any questions for Homelee in the chat? Probably hey, make going on. Otherwise, I might just I think I'll just end it. Any last thoughts you want to?
I mean, I appreciate you for having me on. Again, official or unofficial face reveal here of Homelee. That's I think I'm about 120 some odd subscribers. I got to watching your interview with Nerfer99 the other day, and which I'm still sorry I missed that live, but I did go back and watch it afterwards. I'm going to possibly, my plan right now is if I hit 250 subs, I'm probably going to do a small giveaway, nothing extravagant, something like that. But maybe do a small giveaway. you know, I don't think that I'll ever hit 1,000. You know, that's, I'm not in it for the subs. I'm not in it for the likes. I'm not wanting the YouTube monies or anything like that. I more or less started my channel to just sort of air my thoughts on things. And, you know, I don't really, well, I may be wrong as to who that was. Nerfer99 said that wasn't them. But whoever that was, it was Nerf and Nate. Sorry about that. Nerf and Nate. I get people confused. But I'm horrible with names. But you know, I'm just out there to get the my kind of opinion out there, and I kind of support other people. You know, that's, like I said, I've purchased a couple of things from Valor. I try to do reviews of his stuff when I get it, and kind of put his name out there and talk about him a little bit. I've bought some stuff from Boomtendo and from Out of Darts and from Big ZenZ and different people. And, you know, I try to put an awareness out there about those people. And some of y'all have been seeing me use my bottle opener tonight. This is a JSPB Urban Ops Pro. It's a nice little 3D printed blaster. Comes out of Singapore. There will be a video soon about this on my channel. It's a nice little, you know, kind of pull and release kind of thing. I'm probably going to update it with a retaliator spring. Eventually, I need to finish shooting my initial video of it. But it takes handle scales off of a 1911. So I bought some nice looking handle scales from Amazon to put on there that kind of match the black and blue color scheme, which, you know, I don't know if you can guess, you know, my first painted blaster, black and blue on that cruddy Maverick, and I've got black and blue on the Urban Ops. But this is a pretty good little blaster. It's one I heard about mostly through Valor. He mentioned it to me, and I checked it out, and I ordered one. And it's a pretty good, solid little 3D printed blaster that I like. So, you know, I'm trying to get my opinion out there on things. And I've lost you. Hello? Check. I can kind of hear you.
Sorry, did I?
There you are.
Am I even still on? Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna end it, man. I'm so sorry going on with this freaking internet.
That's all right. But hey, I appreciate you having me on.
Is it offline now?
Well, I'm kind of seeing myself right now, but I'm not.
Are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check.
Yeah, I can
okay.
hear you.
Okay, I see you back on the feed. There we are.
I don't know why this is cutting out so much, man. It's really bumming me out, you know. Yeah, I could hear you, man. Yeah, I think it's. I think it went offline.
I'm seeing it a little bit on the live feed. I don't know if it's it's flashing off and on me. But yeah, like I appreciate the support that I've gotten from you and from others. I appreciate all the subscribers I have and the people that have liked my videos and those kinds of things. But you know, I'm more or less doing this as an outlet for my thoughts. You know, the subscribers and the comments and the likes and everything are just kind of a plus. And I don't know. There, I see you on there. We're somewhere.
Are we even on the line? Are we even on YouTube?
I don't know if we are or not.
Oh.
Because it's right now it's flashing off and on.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna end the broadcast, I guess. I'm sorry, we didn't even get to say bye, really. You know.
That's all right. It's I understand these kinds of things happen. But I appreciate you for having me on, and hopefully we can make some connections at a later time, and maybe do this again at some point. But I really appreciate you having me on, and hopefully this will help get up some of your view time.
All right, thanks, Homelee.
All right, have a good one.
Sorry about the internet, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know if I'm even on or not. I don't think I'm on anymore.